9 times out of 10 that JoBlo gets cast in a movie, his character will not be making it out alive by the end of that movie. Jesse Shade here for Awfully Good Movies on behalf of the JoBlo YouTube network, and we would like to dedicate this review of Shark Night 3D in memory of its director, for whom this was his final directorial effort, David R. Ellis, best known for directing one of the best as well as one of the worst entries in the Final Destination franchise, as well as the overhyped but still quite enjoyable B-horror classic, Snakes on a Plane.
I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane!
Before he was found dead in his hotel room in 2013 of still mysterious circumstances. Gosh, is it distasteful of me to imagine his death being much like that of a Final Destination movie? Anyway, his final directorial effort would continue the 3D gimmick from the fourth Final Destination for a shark tale of PG-13 carnage between dumb horny college students and dumb CGI great white sharks. So let's hand things over to our horror expert Tyler Nichols for this aquatically afloat episode of Awfully Good Movies.
You didn't think I was done with the bad shark movies, did you?
Oh, such power, it's raw power.
Dad, what are you doing? It's Shark Week.
The genre is just so filled to the brim with awful offerings that I had quite the time even trying to decide.
You know, I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your
But when the director of Snakes on a Plane and The Final Destination makes a shark movie, you can be damn sure that's the one we're covering.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
From rednecks trying to feed college kids to sharks, to some of the most stereotypical plot beats you can imagine, there's a lot to tear apart here. So let's take a look at how awfully good is Shark Night.
Sarah.
What's wrong?
First, let's get it out of the way. Rest in peace, David R. Ellis. You were taken from us way too soon, because, as evidenced by your wonderful filmography, you were such a bombastic director, and it's unfortunate that Shark Night serves as your final film.
Let's rock it out.
The opening credits of Shark Night is just a mix of real-life shark footage intercut with people swimming, all with a red hue to it.
Ooh, so exciting.
It's not even until 3.5 minutes in that we're actually getting some real characters. I love a fun credit sequence as much as the rest, but this just felt like they were trying to stretch the runtime. And given that it's exactly 90 minutes, I don't think my theory is too far off. I mean, hell, there's a full-blown music video after the credits that was made by the cast. They were definitely stretching. I also love that you can clearly see where the 3D was supposed to go during the title cards, because boy did they use the 3D gimmick in this movie, but we'll touch on that later.
Alright.
In typical, we can't think of anything original because we're making a shark movie logic, the intro to Shark Night is essentially just Jaws. Two random characters that have no connection with our leads later on go in the water, and one of them has Sir Christie getting dragged under the water moment. And they make sure that the shark stays underwater. I get it, Jaws proved it's an effective opening, but come on. Ted from Schitt's Creek is our lead, and they establish right away that he's a big ol' geek.
Go outside, nerd. Get out.
But it's not the glasses or the fact that he's playing Halo that tells us. It's this big athlete, Malik, coming into his dorm room and doing the old switcheroo on him.
Come on, man, you knew I needed a C to keep my scholarship? B+, baby. What? Yeah.
It's so unnecessary, and I'm immediately reminded of those asshole characters from The Final Destination. It's like we've just got a whole movie of hunts.
I could give you English lessons in the back of my truck if you like.
What?
Releasing in 2011, Shark Night has so many different recognizable faces. So for an awfully good drinking game, take a drink every time you recognize one of the actors on screen. We've got Sarah Paxton, Sinqua Walls, Donald Logue, Catherine McPhee, Chris Carmack, and Joel David Moore.
I am a genius.
filling out the "wait, I don't know their names, but I know them" bingo card.
Ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
Catherine McPhee had the image of a good girl at the time and hadn't quite met her husband that would be 35 years her senior.
I'll be ready in 30 minutes, more like 15 if he knows what he's doing.
So, going against type, they cast her in this strange role of a bad girl who likes tattoos and is into kinky stuff.
Oh!
Who is the champion of the world?
It never comes off naturally and just feels like a preacher's daughter being gleeful that she gets to say naughty words.
You kids want some candy? All you gotta do is get inside.
As expected, Shark Night has a pretty antiquated viewpoint on women.
That's hot tubs and strip joints and groupies after every game. Why you want to handcuff yourself to like one piece of ass?
But that just makes these characters easier to want to see get eaten by sharks. They're all such caricatures.
What's up, bitches?
See what I mean?
Good boy.
Oh.
You guys have fun back there.
Never mind. We have one person to root for. The dog. And so help me if you pull a Jaws on this one. This group of college students is heading out to one of their lake houses to celebrate the end of the semester. It's a pretty basic horror movie setup. They even meet a bunch of creepy locals that feel straight out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
We got ourselves a killer. Only this time, you killed the sheriff.
And they are racist as all hell.
That's awful sweet of you.
What's that?
Doesn't the help sit up front like that?
And I love that they make this pretty boy into the leader of the Hicks. Like, in what world is this man a yokel? He's got washboard abs, for God's sakes. I also have to point out that this guy has sharpened teeth. Could there be any more of a sign that this is a bad guy?
Or could have been something else.
We also find out pretty quickly that the Hicks have the law on their side as we're introduced to Sheriff Sabin. Maybe it's just me, but my spidey senses start tingling whenever I see Donald Logue.
My hands, they're all hairy and sticky. No change there.
It could just be the fact that I grew up with Blade, but I just can't help but see him as a bad guy.
You can slice him, you can dice him, but the Queen Man just keeps on coming.
One thing Ellis does really well is ramping up the tension by putting the dog in peril. Or at least seemingly. Just shooting from underwater and showing the dog is enough to get the heart rate up. They know you remember what happens in Jaws and use that to their advantage. We finally get our first bit of shark action when Malik goes water skiing. Because apparently these writers saw Jaws 2 as well. He's attacked while skiing, though it's shot in a way where we can't really tell. Just looks like he fell over. But by the time Malik comes out of the water, we see he's missing his fucking arm.
Sarah.
What's wrong?
And if you're wondering why nobody is using their cell phones to call for help,
Just so you guys know, your cell phones are not gonna work out here, so make your calls now. Okay. No, there's no reception out here. Just try anyway.
We gotta stop the bleeding.
yeah, they lay it on pretty thick. Our first real look at our super CGI shark comes when Nick goes underwater to look for Malik's arm. Which brings up so many questions, because why on earth did the shark not eat his arm? It's not like the shark is doing this for sport, it's doing this for food. It would have swallowed it when initially biting it off. With no phones working, their big plan is to get on the boat and get back to civilization. Sentient and follows them. It even manages to knock Maya off the boat and into the water. But despite us finally getting to see the shark, they're still not giving us full impact yet. She's simply taken beneath the water, and it's properly bloody. But no real gore. So let me get this right. The first two people in the group to get attacked by the sharks are these two. Yeah, that could be problematic. Though it is cool that they set up Malik getting his arm eaten earlier in the film. Like anything that would be useful for these college kids, the film has to make sure to get rid of anything that could help. So the boat just stops working, goes full throttle, and they practically aim it at the gas dispenser. It's such a Hollywood explosion, and it's really just to make sure these characters don't have a way off the island. And to get in a few flying at the camera 3D moments. And I'm sure by this point you've probably been thinking, isn't this a lake? How on earth are there sharks in it?
If I had a dick, this is where I'd tell you to suck it.
Well, apparently these rednecks put sharks in there and start filming them after getting the idea from Shark Week. This is revealed when Sharktooth McGee takes 2 of the college kids seemingly to a hospital, only to monologue and reveal their true intentions. Joel David Moore gets taken out while climbing a tree, while Catherine McPhee actually gets taken out by sharks that we don't often see in film, cookie cutter sharks. These are essentially little piranha, but it's a nice way to add some variety. It fully feels like a scene from Piranha 3D. Malik proves to be the most badass person in this whole film. He gets his arm taken off, and then when he finds out that his girlfriend has been killed, he just grabs a spear and heads out to the water, ready to kill that shark. I mean, hell, he ends up going face to face with a fucking hammerhead and fully kills it. And then, when he notices a great white shark following them, he sacrifices himself to save Blake. Can you possibly get more badass than this man?
His roar is long and loud.
And if you're curious what the dumbest, most over-the-top death is in this movie, then look no further. Oh my dear God. This shark just jumps out of the water to decapitate this man on a wave runner. It is amazing. The third act of Shark Night goes about how you'd expect, with Nick and Sarah being our only 2 surviving college kids, having to fend off both the sharks and the rednecks who put them there. They even trap Sarah in a cage where a shark tries its best to get after her. It's one of the cooler moments because it's the one time that the shark actually looks decent. And I have to be honest, I actually really like the underwater photography in this movie. It's just cloudy enough and filled with just enough fauna that it actually feels like a real lake versus the tank that it likely is. There is a fun moment where Donald Logue has Nick all tied up and it seems like he's going to be fed to the sharks. We get confirmation that the film's opening kill was set up by these assholes. And this man just loves to monologue, and it ends up being his downfall as he gets taken out by a tiger shark. But it's yet another one of those just getting dragged under the water deaths. Does no one remember all the cool and dynamic deaths of Deep Blue Sea? That. Even Sharktooth McGee doesn't die by a shark. If there was any character to have eaten by one, it was this guy. I mean, hell, he literally throws the dog overboard, but he just gets stabbed with a knife. This was the guy to have his face eaten off by a shark. But at least the dog makes it to the end, so I'll give them that at least. Shark Night features the kind of sharks whose sole purpose seems to be to jump scare the shit out of you. They also change in scale a lot. I mean, look at the size of this fin as it's swimming away from them. This shark would be Bruce levels of massive. We just saw from the underwater shot that he's not that big. They excuse it by having different types of sharks, but it still results in plenty of inconsistencies. I know, I should lower my expectations for shark movies, but I just can't. Which is why I'm giving Shark Night an awfully good rating of a C-. There are some really silly moments, but this mostly just meanders its way through the runtime. The shark moments are more funny and silly than anything else, which at this point in my life is exactly what I'm looking for with my cinematic shark entertainment. I just could have gone for a few more puppets and less waxy looking CGI sharks. But what are you gonna do?
It's awfully good. It's awfully good.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.